PvT unwinnable, Papi, unwinnable. As we are diving into our third series of the morning, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Gressvan, we have the Polish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming, the red Protoss. It is Gerald, the mustache man himself. And spawning in the top left of Gressvan, we have his opponent. We have the American? Yeah. I was like, is he from Canada? No. The American Protoss representing Root Gaming. It is Creature. Here we go. The PvP is upon us. EU versus NA. And coming into this, obviously, I would say that Gerald is the favored player. He's been doing very well for himself. He's been improving a lot as a player over the course of the past couple of years. Creature has been MIA. Creature is an old school player that was active way back when, years ago, took a break, and recently has come back into more active play. That's why earlier I was saying how it's been really exciting to see Creature again this year, consistently signing up for event after event after event. Creature clearly putting in the hours and clearly wanting to come back into form. But I'll be honest, when we were casting him at the beginning of the year, he still felt rusty. It still felt like he was still coming into his own, still refining his mechanics, refining his skills, and getting back into where he once was. And he wasn't quite there yet. I remember casting him in the NA Apprentice qualifiers, for example, and some of those other events. So we'll see if Creature, after a couple of months now, has been able to refine his skills and now is up to par with Gerald. I would like to believe so. Already we have a proxy being set up, and it is going to be a proxy robo, so Creature is going for a one base all in on Gressvan. Is going to be kicking things off with these two adepts as well. I do appreciate this. Now, this is a bit of a double-edged sword. The adepts do fake out Gerald. Showing adepts typically doesn't signify a proxy like this, but the adepts haven't moved out yet, and Gerald, he is looking for the second pylon. Second pylon is missing. This third pylon is clearly not the second, and he's looking for that proxy. He's going to be checking the edges of the map, and he will come across the robo. Oh. Meanwhile, the adepts take down that probe. We have a couple more adepts coming up behind this as well, but the robo has been found, and Gerald can now respond. Back at home, there we go. We have a defensive robo and a third gateway. So with this, Gerald is going to be staying on one base. He's going to be able to get into defensive immortal production, and he will also have a greater kind of production capability with the mass gateways compared to Creature. Meanwhile, the first couple of units are going to be skirmishing out on the map. Adepts do manage to shade away, but Gerald, he's just ignoring the army. If he wants to, he could go across the map, but we do have that first immortal just now out. It's going to be reinforcing with those adepts and going to be heading towards the main base of Gerald. Likewise, Gerald is head towards the main of Creature. Oh, and the wall is not a wall. This pylon is going to get depowered with the... that could just be game, by the way. The pressure is on Creature to push up this ramp, but we have a sentry. We have a force field. The Immortal is not taking part in this at all, and the gateways are being depowered. Without these gateways, Creature, he can't reinforce. He's going to try and force himself up this ramp. The boys are being pulled. We have the overcharge as well. The Immortal, he's trying to kill the sentry. He's trying to kill anything he can. But the overcharge says, no, you cannot kill anything at all. We are forced to recall, and the Immortal will barely escape. Never mind. It doesn't escape. It recalls to its death, as there's nothing left. Only probes remaining, and Geralt will be able to kite his heart out. Again, a great reaction here out of Geralt, recognizing that would be very little to defend across the map, and warping in a sentry to buy time, throw down the force field, and make things just far easier for him as well. We do have Creature trying to get into another Immortal. He already has one Immortal available here in this Prism. But for the most part, Gerald is he's just completely shutting this down. Oh. Ah. Not like this, Papi, not like this. The Robo falls. Creature, he is knocked down to 1 Immortal and 1 Stalker and 1 Prism. Bit of a 1-1-1 setup here for Creature. Geralt is looking to hunt this Prism down. Oh no. Yeah, Geralt, he is in position. The Prism comes in and Geralt is gonna be able to shut it down. And with that, GG gets called. Geralt will take game 1. GG. Aye. It was an unfortunate turn of events for Creature. Again, because Geralt went for a probe scout, he recognized that the pylon was missing, the second pylon. He knew that there was a proxy somewhere. He did come across it in the end and was able to very quickly react and shut it down. You know, throwing down the third gateway, throwing down the defensive robo, the shield battery, and just counterattacking with his stalkers. All just really good stuff from Geralt. And yeah, Creature gonna have to try to take a bit of a different approach. So we all file on in, and game 2 is going to be taking place on Neo Humanity. Oh, let's go. The winner of this series, I believe, is going to be going up against Juggernaut Jason. I'll be honest, I've never casted Juggernaut Jason before. And I don't know if I want to. I feel like Jason has a reputation, or at least maybe it's because I think he had a reputation years ago of being like a pretty turtly like meching player, but I don't know if that's the case anymore. So hopefully not. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm getting into. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the Polish Protoss player representing Psystorm Gaming, currently leading the series 1-0. It is Gerald. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Protoss representing Root Gaming. It is Creature. Here we go. The PvP continues. And again, the pressure is on Creature. I think he's aware that he is the underdog coming into this series. What's he gonna do? Now, Neo Humanity, because it's such a short rush distance, I don't really think it's necessary to go into proxies. Like, you can be aggressive off of 2 bases, quite aggressive indeed, and even try to hide some tech later on. Of course, referring to DTs, if we get there. But we shall see, as both players are going for 2 gate openers, as to be expected. Cybercore going to be throwing down behind this as well. That is unfortunate. The probe died. Creature, his scouting probe does get picked off, and that is disastrous. Without that, he's not going to know what 2 units come out. He's not going to know if there was going to be a missing second pylon. Creature loses a lot of scouting information. As Gerald keeps his own probe alive, confirms the second pylon, and should be able to get eyes on the first couple units coming out. Geralt is going to be going for double adept. We do see Creature going for double stalker. So with the double stalker, he's going to be able to assert himself and have map dominance. But these adepts from Geralt, they can shade past these stalkers and look to do some economic damage. If Creature is not fast to re-wall, then the adepts can get out of hand. I like this. As the probe of Gerald leaves the main base and gets shut down, Creature is going to delay his Nexus and go for a fast Stargate instead. So once again, aggression coming out from Creature. This is to get into Oracle production and zoom across the map. We'll see if he's going to be able to pull this off. Meanwhile, from the side of Gerald, he is setting up for an expansion instead. So an economic follow-up from Gerald, far more aggressive from Creature. Oh! Yo, he has been able to rotate around. He has been able to catch these Adepts as well. Pretty good stuff overall. We do have follow-up Adepts here from Gerald. Sorry, from Creature, just making sure that Gerald doesn't find a way in. And we have that Oracle on the way. Now, Gerald should be able to catch wind of this eventually. He does have a sentry for Hallucinated Scout. Before that happens, the Adepts are looking to shade in, and oh, the wall is not a wall! The Adepts are being forced back. They get one probe kill, but only one. But they're going to be able to shade on forward. And the Adepts, they don't commit to the shade. They don't see the tech. He's not quite ready for this, but nah, he's got a shield battery in the main. He's got a Stalker as well. Oracle zooms across the map, and Creature is going to look for some damage, but alas, they're going to be forced to go for the stasis trap. Oh, we do manage to pull away just in time. Only a single unit gets stasis. And Geralt is going to have a pretty hefty lead. Oh, sorry, 2 units, my bad. 2 probes get stasis. If you merely just look at the worker counts, just because Geralt went for the faster Nexus and his probe production has been so on point, he is up almost 10 workers compared to Creature. Creature needs to get some damage done. He's got 2 Oracles. He has 1 shot potential. Oh no, but the target firing is just too good, and Creature is forced out of the main base of Geralt. Yeah, he's got a couple of Adepts that can threaten a shade into the natural, and again, they can also one-shot probes. As the wall is a wall, they commit to the shade as well, and these Adepts are going to be shut down. It looks like they were trying to be distraction for the Oracles, but Geralt, he's aware of that. He's in position. The Oracles, they don't make it through. Not like this, Papi, not like this. From here, we're getting into 4x production, sorry, 4 gate production. Third base is on the way for both players. But again, for the most part, Geralt has had a pretty comfortable lead. Behind this, Geralt, he has Blink. His opponents, because of the Stargate opener, his Blink is very delayed. Twilight Council is on the way. Creature has to make up for the lack of Blink, and his answer to that is going to be Immortal production. He's going to have 1 Immortal. He's working on his second... eventually going to be working on his second Immortal. As a result, Creature is not going to have the most flexible army, but he'll have a large army nonetheless. And I feel like a lot of the defense here for Creature is going to rely upon this stasis trap, and up! Just like that, the majority of the Stalkers do get caught in the stasis. Creature, he can take the fight. Of course, because of Blink and Geralt, he doesn't have to commit. He will back off. And now Creature's in a really precarious position. Geralt has a massive Stalker count. The stasis trap is about to run out, and he can just dive on top of this Immortal if he really wanted to. Oh, he's going to be going for the Oracle instead. The stasis gets triggered. The Oracle goes down. God, and Geralt is up to 17 Stalkers. He's sharking around looking for another way in. He's going to rotate over towards the natural base. We do have an Immortal coming out, and it could get caught. And it will get caught. Oh, the Immortal goes down for free. The Stalkers, they poke in, they poke out. They can dive on once again if they really want to. As the Adepts are going to get behind the mineral line, they're going to be pulling the army of Creature apart. Oh, 6 probes do fall. Now Gerald has to still be careful because of that shield battery, because of the overcharge. He can't like fully commit. He wants to. Does want to. In a couple of seconds, a blink is going to finish off a creature as well. Gerald is looking for a way in. And he's just going to be taking up even further. We have +1 on the way, charge as well. Of course, Gerald has been behind in upgrades, but is slowly catching up. Oh, and Gerald, he even avoids the Stalkers of Creature, and he's slipping into the main base. Ooh, almost gets the Prism. That Adept Harass is just going to be continuing. We are forcing a recall into the main. And things will settle down from here. Again, Creature is still on the back foot, but he's holding on, right? Like, again, Gerald, he can't fight underneath a shield battery or an overcharge, so he can't really commit to any major engagement yet. As a result, Creature has been able to slowly take his 4th base. I would love for Creature to throw down a bait. If he went into Disruptor production now, even though he's down in supply, even though he's behind in economy, like, Disruptors can change everything. Or DTs. One or the other. I feel like the pressure, the onus is on Creature to go for one of those tech paths and use them to come back in some way. Otherwise, the gap will not close. Am I crazy? Okay. Looks like the Prism was shut down. I was like, is Gerald making a second Prism? No. He lost the first one. It's all good. Here we go. Moving on out. Gerald's going for the Dark Shrine himself. Creature instead going for a Templar Archives. Both players will have access to Archons. But the main army is on the way. Now, Creature will finish up +2 just in time for this fight. But look at how many Zealots we have. Ay. So many charge lots. And without Archons, we can't really do anything about this. We're just pushing on forward. Decent force fields do help cut up the army of Creature. The Zealots, they just charge on in. We blink on forward. We snipe the Prism. The Immortal does barely escape in time. The Zealots are closing the distance. Ooh, Gerald with some mispathing. He's gonna lose some of those Stalkers. Creature holding on quite well. Did I speak too soon? Creature will hold on. Again, +2, doing a lot here for Creature. As Gerald backs off, and Gerald is getting into a second robo, he's getting into his bay, he's getting into Disruptor production. Creature is avoiding that tech entirely. Which is okay, like, you don't need Disruptors in PvP, it's just difficult to micro against them when you don't have your own. As Gerald, he knows how to Protoss. DTs are on the way. We're just morphing them into Archons though. We do have Blink though. Shadow Stride is in production. Why do I know the name of GT Blink? I don't know. It's just on the way. And from here, Gerald is just going to be taking his 4th, taking his 5th. Maintaining his economic lead, maintaining his tech lead as well. Like, because Geralt has had the better economy, he can afford to tech into DTs and afford to tech into Disruptors, alongside maintaining a strong army. He hasn't had to cut any corners. So where do we go from here? The Disruptors, they've arrived, Papi, they've arrived. Oh god. Like, the Stalkers can avoid the Novas, the Zealots can't. I worry for them. As the DTs have arrived, they're forcing a massive reaction out of Creature. Do warp in defensively back at home. We even force a recall. as only one DT goes down. Oh, I say that. Apparently 5. I think some of them went down earlier. Decent damage was done. We did force a reaction. Meanwhile, Gerald's army is just being more refined. Both armies are maxed, but we can see like a clear difference in the quality of the army. Creature relying a lot on pure zealots, and the Novas, they're going to be going off and they're just going to shut down the zealots. Oh my god. Ugh, the zealots, the stalkers, the archons, they all take massive Novas to the face. Oh my god, once again. In the blink of an eye, Creature, he plummets in supply. He was 200 supply a second ago, and now he's dropped almost 60. 55 supply gone in an instant. That's the power of the disruptor. We're going into Sky Toss right now, but now is not the time for Sky Toss, Papi. It's not the time. Oh. As we see Gerald just pushing on forward, wedging his way into the 5th base. We do have Creature trying to come in from behind, but he takes Nova straight to the face as well. And even though he's going to reset the disruptor count, it doesn't even matter. The 5th base goes down. GG gets called, and Gerald will take the series 2-0. GG. Shout out to Creature for holding his own for a long time there against Gerald. But alas, he knew that he was behind almost from the beginning, and Creature didn't quite go for any kind of major comeback moves. He was just stuck at home, just trying to defend, trying to turtle up. Didn't go for DTs, didn't go for disruptors, didn't go for, I don't know, like mass Oracle harass or Blink Stalker harass. Was just kind of stuck at home, trying to survive. And Gerald was able to have a lot of freedom that game. Like, even though Gerald's like was struggling to end the game, like he was never in any danger, you know, like his bases were left alone. He was able to get a 5th, a 6th base up and running. He was able to tech up pretty freely. He was feeling pretty comfortable. And with that, Gerald advances on in the brackets, and we have to try to figure out what's been happening.